Okay, we are back. Hello, Qigong enthusiasts. I'm continuing my Qigong video series to give you guys some education on Qigong. And this first series is specific to Qigong for the spring and the wood element. And the last video I shared, by the way, I'll leave some little links up here as this video goes along that'll help you to get back to the first video in the series and the video that follows. So you'll be able to just follow along. But the most recent video I shared was kind of veering off the wood element specifically and just doing the energy palm meditation that's really helpful for making the microcosmic orbit open. So if you want to check out that previous video, I recommend you doing that. So what I wanted to share about in this video is a way to do what we call checking the wood element. And so in 5-element theory, there's what's called the generative or creative cycle. So I like to start with the earth element. That's the spleen and the stomach. And so earth in the creative cycle, it turns into metal. You can imagine the earth condensing and then forming metal. So you move from earth, which is Indian summer in terms of its relation to the seasons. So from Indian summer, we move to the fall and the metal element. And the metal element are the lungs and the large intestines. And then from metal, we create water because the water condenses onto metal. And so from fall, we move to winter and the water element, which are the kidneys and the bladder. And then water produces wood, which is where we are now, the springtime, the liver and the gallbladder. And then wood helps produce fire, which is where we're headed into the summer, which is the heart and the small intestine. And then boom, we'll find ourselves back into earth again. You burn that wood and it turns into ash, which is the earth. So then that's the creative cycle, but there's what's called the destructive cycle. And I like to call it the checking cycle, because what we can do, as well as doing exercises just for the wood element to add energy and to cultivate the attributes of that element. If the wood element gets out of hand, if it starts reaching its branches into things it shouldn't be, or if it just gets too full of branches that we need to trim, or there's just an excess in wood energy, then you can check it with the appropriate element. So in the checking cycle, if we start with earth again, earth checks water. It's like you build the dam and you block water. So if you have an excess of water energy, you can do exercises for the earth element to relieve that in the water element. And then the metal element, it's like the axe or the saw, it's the blade, it checks the wood element. So that's the one we're going to use. But just to finish the cycle there, the water element, naturally you would assume it's going to check the fire. And then the wood element checks the earth element because it breaks up with its roots, it breaks apart the earth. And then the fire element checks the metal element and it refines. I like the metal element example there, or the fire and the metal, because when we're overworked with the metal element, it dulls the blade, and we use the fire to soften the metal and refine the blade once again, so it's nice and sharp. So for the wood element, you can practice if you're feeling, this helps, another tool just to immediately, when you're feeling angry or impatient, using the metal element to check the wood element is really helpful. And so you can use an affirmation just really simply for the lungs. Breathing in, I feel my lungs. Breathing out, I release my sorrow. So as you build that metal element energy, you can repeat that affirmation. You might feel some relief in your liver area, in the stagnation there. So again, that's one affirmation you can use. Breathing in, I feel my lungs. Breathing out, I release my sorrow. Another one you can use that helps really to add energy to the metal element is using the healing color. So you could, breathing in, breathing in, white light fills my lungs. Breathing out, I'm courageous. Those are some of the attributes for the metal element. And again, we're using that metal energy to chop the wood. So we can try that one again. Breathing in, white light fills my lungs. Breathing out, I'm courageous. So that's just a quick way. There's tools I shared earlier in the Qigong for the spring video, which gives you affirmations for the wood element, such as breathing in, green light fills my liver. Breathing out, I'm patient and kind. So you can use those directly, but a lot of the times using the other elements to support one element that you want to work on is really effective. And another one, if you've watched one of my videos, if you want to use the metal element, you do the archer stance. This is a really good one where you're spreading open the chest, you're drawing the bow, you're breathing in, and then breathing out. And then you go to the other side, you imagine drawing the bow, breathing in, and breathing out. So those are a couple ways I wanted to just share with you really quickly. Quick things you can do for the wood element, especially when you're feeling stagnant. If the wood element gets stagnant or just blocked, you feel fatigue, your body's tired. The wood element is responsible for dispersing qi to all the other elements in the body, to all the other internal organs. So if it gets stuck, you're going to lack vitality. So use that metal element, use the lungs, use the white light, and I think you'll see some results from that. So I will put tags in here so you can see the next video and start over at the beginning if you want to see this full series. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.